Okay. I'm going to go ahead and call today's meeting to order. Today is the October 13th Zoning Board of Appeals meeting. Could go ahead and do roll call, please.
Mr. McCarr?
Here.
Ms. Rott?
Here.
Mr. Beach?
Here.
Mr. Rusaw?
Here.
Ms. Caputo?
Here.
Ms. Stroker?
Here.
Mr. Barron?
Here.
Ms. Tomich?
Here.
And Mr. Miller.
Here.
Wonderful. We have a quorum.
Okay, thank you. And we have all members present, so no need for any excuses today, correct?
No.
Okay. First on the agenda is the approval of today's agenda. We all have the packet electronically or in paper if you printed. Has anybody had a chance to review the agenda? Are there any amendments or alterations? If not, might there be a motion to approve the agenda?
Motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
We have a
Second, Beach, go.
Motion made, motion seconded. Mr. Beach, I think on record?
Second.
Second, there it is, okay.
Yes.
All those in favor of the motion, say yes.
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 Anyone opposed, say no. The agenda is approved. All right, next on the agenda, we have the approval of the minutes from the August 11th ZBA meeting. Everybody's hopefully had a chance to go through the minutes, review. Were there any alterations, corrections, comments, or edits needed to be made to the minutes? Having heard no edits or modifications, is there a motion to approve the minutes as published?
I'll motion to approve the minutes as published for August 11, 2025 ZBA meeting.
Thank you. Motion made.
Second.
Motion seconded. All those in favor of the motion, say yes.
Yes.
Anyone opposed, say no. All right, the minutes are approved. Next up on the agenda, we have public comment on items that are not on the published agenda. Is there anybody here in the public to speak to items that aren't on the agenda? Yeah, small group. Having heard no public comments, we will move on to the next item on the agenda, which is old business. And we have no old business, so I don't believe we have anything to discuss under item 6, old business. Brings us to item 7 on the agenda, new business, ZBA case number 1439 at 31288 Downing Place. Ms. Steck, if you wouldn't mind giving us an overview, please.
Yeah, good evening. I almost said good morning. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to our meeting tonight. So we have one item on the agenda, and it is case 1439, as said, 31288 Downing Place. They are seeking a dimensional variance for their rear yard setback. They have an existing just over 3,000 square foot two-story home that was constructed in 1964 right over here in the Huntley neighborhood. It's on just about a third of an acre. It is zoned R1A, single family. The applicants are here this evening and will be able to fill in anything I may miss, but they are seeking that variance to the rear yard setback so they can create a 12 by 15 covered porch. Seems to be our theme of the year, is covered porches this year. So right now, their existing home is compliant with the zoning ordinance standards. So you can see here they are. I did this intentionally. You can see there's actually 3 zoning districts in this neighborhood, which is kind of odd in and of itself. So they are right here. We're going all greens today, go green. There is, and this is an overhead view of their property. What was it, Tim? Is it control? Yes. All right, so still my favorite feature. All right, so right here there's an existing sunroom, and the intent or the request is to add the covered patio area right here, and then kind of extend the concrete to make it more of a cohesive flow. The house itself is, like I said, compliant with the dimensional requirements of the ordinance, all setbacks are met. So this would be the only deviation. If granted, the requested 12-yard variance would result in a rear yard setback of 28 feet. And as we've kind of discovered over the last few months, there are no provisions within our zoning ordinance for any sort of projection into the rear yard, which would allow them to do this covered patio without requesting a variance. I believe that's just about everything I have, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
What is the normal setback?
The normal setback, I'm sorry, is 40 feet,
So we're looking at a variance of
12 feet.
12 feet.
Yep.
Ms. Tech, the existing sunroom then is at the ultimate demarcation line of the rear setback, correct?
Yes.
Or
Yep.
there's no further room beyond that?
Correct.
Okay. Any other questions regarding Ms. Steck's overview?
I have a question. And it's just a covered patio, correct? It's not going to be like a sunroom, it's just a covered patio?
Nope, just a covered patio. It will connect to the existing sunroom, and there is proposed renovations, upgrades to that sunroom, but it will be integrated into that existing space.
Okay. If the petitioners wouldn't mind taking to the podium, state your name and address for the record, please. And if you could just give us a overview of your request and maybe expand on anything that Ms. Steck didn't highlight on.
And I do have your sketches up here, by the way. So I got your sketches and proposed rendering.
Oh, thanks. So I'm Katie Morrison,
And I'm Sean Morrison.
and we live at 31288 Downing Place.
Do you mind handing these out?
Sure.
We did put together a couple handouts. Is that appropriate?
Sure.
Yeah, thank you.
So, I'm a teacher at Grove, so I'm going to kind of do this. This is a letter that was written for us from a neighbor. We also have the several people, everybody that's within sight of this that we know of has also approved it.
Thank you.
In terms of their feelings on it, but I guess I'll wait till I'm in the microphone because of the stream.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so thank you guys for having us here. This is new to me. I haven't spoken, I have spoken in front of like a school board, but I've never asked for anything from a group of people before like this in this manner, so thank you. I don't know exactly what to say or where to start, so I guess I'll kind of start with the overhead here. I tried to mark things, and I tried to address kind of our little nook of the neighborhood. So I labeled our house as 1 with the little number 1 where our additional covered area would be. And because there's a curve in the street, if you're basing things on sight lines, for instance, when you go in the backyard and you turn to your right, for instance, where the covered area would be includes seeing structures to the right, and it would probably be the same to the left, except the foliage is there. Honestly, there's a lot of foliage in the area. What looks like a lot of trees there is a shadow, so that's really the only place just past where our current concrete block is that you can see to the right. But when you look at even our neighbor's house, our requested continuation into a covered area, but not enclosed, would still kind of fit in that manner. And then I also, one of our only visible structures is the house that is labeled number 2. And you can see that from our house. The foliage pretty much covers everything else. But on number 2, their sunroom is within less than 30 feet of the setback. And it's been there for a long time. I don't know the history of that. All I know is that if you're kind of looking in this area and you're using sight lines as a reference or whatever the reference may be, theirs juts out in a way when you look to the right and left. I labeled those as 4. There's no structures to the right and left. Once again, I don't know. And then the one directly behind us, they walk out into a lower elevation. It's almost like a cliffside. And they don't even have a direct kind of view from where they hang out to our sunroom as it would be, and as it would be added onto. So I guess looking at all of this and taking it into consideration when we filled out the documents, it said, is this of your own doing or something to that effect? And the concrete patio that we have and the sunroom and everything else, we're on a lot of clay. And it's shifted a lot. Our sunroom's actually kind of detaching from the house, so we feel like this is a necessary thing. So as we were going to renovate it and trying to do the best job we can to make the neighborhood as good of a situation as it can be, we figured continuing a little bit of a covered area would be the best kind of use of the space that we have, considering that our neighbors are for it. The circumstances of the neighbor that's kind of kitty corner to us. And I also kind of just, I guess I'll read this because there might be people out there listening. I said, admittedly, I'm not an engineer or site planner, so I asked ChatGPT to create a visual representation of what we're hoping to accomplish. As you can see, the rendering makes the addition appear more substantial than it truly is. The AI inadvertently reduced the size of our existing sunroom. Its true proportions are better reflected in the bottom image. My wife and I would love the opportunity to step out from our renovated sunroom into a small covered area where we can enjoy coffee, listen to the rain while we stayed sheltered. Although not perfectly to scale, the first image more accurately reflects what we envision. A modest, tasteful structure that fits well within the neighborhood's character, is consistent with nearby additions, particularly those behind our property. By contrast, the design shown in the bottom image could technically be built without a variance, but it would not align with the aesthetics or overall quality of our neighborhood, nor with the style of similar improvements made by our neighbors. So, kind of taking into account all of what we've said, the gentleman that is 2 doors down, he works kind of in this line of work as well. They love the idea. As well as, like we said, we have signatures from all of our neighbors and including our HOA.
The only thing that I would like to add is, forgive the word janky, but that exactly describes the state of our sunroom right now. The door is not fully closed, the windows are breaking, but that is the room that our little family spends the most time in. We love the sunroom. We have a 4-year-old son, we have a dog Moose, and even though we live in a large house, our family of 4 right now, like I said, we spend the most time in the smallest room essentially in our house. And like Sean mentioned, we love sitting outside when we were looking for our dream home. This is our forever home. We do have a beautiful front porch, and that was something really important to Sean and his bucket list for a new house, because that's where we also like to spend time because of the neighborhood that we're in. It's super homey, everyone's very close, all of the backyards mesh into each other, we don't have fences, and I think it speaks volumes that all of our neighbors are on board with what we're trying to do. They've already continued to invite themselves over to hang out, and this rendering is obviously AI, but the concrete pad that you could also see from the overhead angle, you can see also juts out past the little sunroom. You can kind of see it there. See, yeah, so that's our sunroom, and then the concrete pad juts out. So when we had our contractor come over and talk about the sunroom reno, he actually suggested it. He was basically like, we could just extend the concrete, then you guys can also sit outside. And we're like, that's brilliant. So even like the concrete pad juts out a little bit. So that's how the original idea came to be. So, yeah.
And
The only thing I would add.
yeah, and we're really just trying to improve the area. I mean, we had the concrete walkway poured when we replaced our sewage
Front.
line.
Yeah.
And it's like stamped concrete. We're trying to make this a really nice, you know, a nice situation, and it fits perfectly well with the sunroom that's pretty much directly behind us.
Okay.
I guess the only other personal thing I can add in is Sean and I are married. We'll be celebrating 5 years of marriage in December, but we never had a wedding because of COVID. So we're doing a small vow renewal. Sean's a teacher and a head coach at Groves High School for the varsity baseball team. So we're gonna do a little ceremony on the baseball diamond, and then we're gonna have like a small group, our family and friends, come over to our home. I'm originally from Canada, so a lot of my family and friends haven't seen our space. So we're very motivated right now to make it our, you know, just make some small improvements, because we'll be showcasing Beverly Hills, Michigan. A lot of my people have never even been to Michigan. Obviously, my immediate family, parents, sisters, and nieces will be crashing at our house. So the more usable space, the better. But yeah, that's where this kind of came to be as well. We're just very motivated for next summer and transforming our home into an even homier situation.
Congrats. That's awesome.
Thanks.
We typically will ask you to address the 7 criteria. You've provided a written response, so thank you. I won't make you go through each one of those unless members of the board have questions to them. So why don't we go from there? Board members, are there any questions for the petitioner about their request?
Chair, don't forget your public hearing.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
We have no new additions to the packet, no letters, nothing?
No, the email from Mr. Duzen, that was, I believe I forwarded that to you, I guess that was a couple weeks ago now, but upon receipt, right? So, and then the letters that were provided within their packet materials, but nothing additional.
Okay, thank you. With that, we will open the request up for public comment. Are there any members of the public here to speak on this case? Okay. Having heard none from the public, we will close public comment. Back to the board then. Are there any questions for the petitioners about their requests that you'd like to address before we discuss amongst ourselves?
I understand aesthetically pleasing, but is there any reason why you could not extend a covered area to the left back of the sunroom?
You gotta lean forward into your mic.
I heard the question. I can,
Oh, no, but it's got to go.
It's got to be
The
picked
man
up,
behind
it's got to
the
be picked
curtain.
up on the mic, that's my
Sorry.
fault, not you.
okay. Are you repeating the question?
I'll repeat it. So, the back of the house, is there any reason why you couldn't extend the sunroom and the covered area to the other side of the sunroom?
Well, we both probably have answers. My answer is I married a 6'5" American here, and it's actually really short. So we looked into an awning, and he would have very little headspace.
One of the
It's
things
the
that,
garage, so it just stoops down low. So if we did an awning from the garage, then it would be, is that what you're?
I'm asking about behind the house.
right,
Is that- is
so
the
the sunroom comes out like this, the garage just to the other side of it slopes down the opposite direction. So at the base of where the garage comes down would be like here on me. So to continue, because it's like at 8 foot, right? So to continue that, there's no way it would really fit well with, like if you were to take I don't know, maybe going back to the overhead view might be better, but the garage is sloping down, and then the sunroom is kind of sloping down to the same area in that bottom southwest corner, right? So it's at a different pitch. So to continue with the garage, it would feel very like tight.
Heavy.
What about on the other side, on the house side?
We have our AC unit, we have egress window things. There's nothing to that side that would allow for an extension.
We would also have to reno to have a door to access, whereas since we have to reno the sunroom anyways, we would just put the door of the sunroom towards
Yeah.
the covered seating. Instead, right now, it's to the concrete pad on.
Well, I think I could clarify for Scott, one of the elements going in, not the garage side, but I guess that north side. So if you want to move that wall, whether it's a foot or 20 feet, you got to move the header, and it's a bigger number than your whole project.
Right.
That's the answer. So it's very prohibitive. I've known that from that standpoint. So the way you have it, I've looked at this thing, I wanted to ask the questions, but the way it's set up with the porch, the header's already out there, so you don't have to.
And that was the biggest thing that our contractor said. They said we could just put it, you don't even need like the massive footings. You just, I don't know all the lingo, but he said.
It's already there.
Right.
They've already moved it out to support what's there. So you're only extending off of that. You're not actually moving that header.
And we don't need a really wide covered area. We just wanted something little that we could sit and have a coffee or a beverage or just even like a small table.
And that's why we said, I mean, and we're not trying to, like, obviously shoot ourselves in the foot on this or anything, but we asked for 12 foot hoping that we would get something,
Yeah.
to be honest.
And I apologize, I did interject when someone asked that question. I've never done a meeting like this either, so I should have waited my turn, but
Yeah,
yes.
It's okay. I don't mind going out there. My personal view is that this solution is more aesthetically pleasing than what the ordinance allows. I mean, it fits in with the house. That's where I stand on this. So I understand what you're trying to accomplish, and if you try to do it any other way, you would be doubling or tripling your budget.
Which we just,
Like if you're going to renovate a kitchen and you want to move a header, you know, your $50,000 kitchen just goes to $80,000, just like that.
And just
So we
for
understand.
comment too, you can see the air conditioner to the right, if that
Condensing
bottom
unit.
picture is correct? That's your
Yes.
actual
That's the
house?
condensing unit, yes.
So you can see the condenser to the right, you can see electrical going over, so it would be, there is things in the way, and a tree, but in the grand scheme, going to the right of it would be problematic in that sense.
And we would get no light in our kitchen too, which
Yeah.
is already kind of a darker kitchen, and I'm trying to do my best by her when it comes to keeping light in the house and not, et cetera.
Any further questions? No. Mark kind of ran with that one. Other
Is
members?
there, there's one more question. Is there any, I mean, I know they mentioned they didn't have any comment on it, but the setback of number 2 on your diagram at 30 feet, is there any documentation of that or how that got built, I guess, if it's supposed to be a 40 setback?
This is the first time I've seen that particular document, so I didn't research the other neighboring properties.
Just for, I mean, it looks like it's closer to, I mean, that's just looking at the map picture, but.
I mean, I can certainly look into that, but like I said, I didn't do any,
Yeah.
I
No, didn't see it in
explore the other
In the packet
setbacks from-
before, that's the
yeah.
first time I saw that too, so that's why I
Yep.
was commenting on that piece.
our neighbors bought the house like that. We don't want to get them in trouble.
Other members, comments, questions for the applicant? Okay, thank you. Have a seat, and we will
Thank you.
discuss.
We appreciate your time.
Likewise, thank you.
Oh, stay.
You can stay, yeah. All right. I guess just leaning into this, this is not the first request that we've had for a covered porch, right? Unfortunately, the ordinance doesn't allow to do what the applicant wants to do. And we've talked this before, that in theory, they could build a completely separated structure. They could put it within 5 feet of the rear setback, and that would also be compliant with the ordinance. So just some context for those that were here, we did hear a similar case back in June. So even though some of us may have been at that meeting, we want to reiterate our thoughts on of approving or disapproving or making a motion to this request. So I'd just like to ask for remembrances for those that were there to see if there's anything different about this case or anything unique, or if you have other thoughts. We should look at this one on a case-by-case basis. Fellow members, any strong thoughts, any comments that the applicant?
I'll say that I feel like the layout and the hindrance of the garage roof line, because you can tell that it drops off at the other side of the, I don't see the other side, but I'm assuming, because you can see the end of the house there, that it's pitched in a way that would hinder doing a roof line on the other side. The air conditioner on the other, both sides are kind of problematic to build towards, where that would make this the most beneficial way to do it in that sense, as in what they're looking to do. As to the setback, that would be that, I'd love to know more about number 2, if that's, something that was already, because I know these curved streets and everything else, there's a lot of trickiness with the property lines, because I had the same thing with my house, of trying to get that dialed in exactly, so.
And this, you had, let's see, I think it was maybe last fall, we had another property within the Huntley neighborhood. They also were doing renovations to their sunroom. They also needed that rear yard setback variance. And they were ultimately successful, but I think that is, I see it, right, as we go through different cases or different requests that maybe don't come to you guys, but like, hey, I want to do this, and it causes them to rethink. But it seems to be something that's within this neighborhood, is you're like right there at the setback, or maybe the setback isn't quite met when the house was built, in the mid-'60s. So, like I said, I don't have any background on it to know whether or not a variance was ever received. If I had to guess, I'd probably say no.
And just I forgot to ask the petitioners, do you have any other detached structures on your property? Is your garage, so in the village, the ordinance reads your garage is technically a detached structure, even though we think of it as part of our house. So if you have a shed or any other structure in the rear, that would be your second detached structure, and that would be the most allowed.
Accessory building.
Accessory building.
Accessory building, thank you. So if you were to do a separated building, I was just meant to ask you, are there any other structures on the property? No, okay, thank you.
I'm hoping you go by a case-by-case basis, only because I think
Sorry, if you don't mind, I should have
Gotta
asked you to come back up. Sorry.
The man behind the curtain likes it when you speak in.
No, and just to clarify, I don't know, we're obviously here, I don't want to reiterate everything, but we're obviously here. We put a lot of thought into this. It makes sense to ask about the garage, et cetera, but the way everything's pitched and everything else, after looking at this, thinking about it, admittedly, I said, I'm not like a contractor or like a designer, but I know our yard. And, if, I don't know if we delay decisions, if you're all more than welcome to come and look at it. I can tell you, like, knowing wholeheartedly that this is the best option for any type of usable space in the yard that we have.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Members?
Mr. Chairman, I'm still struggling with the case that you were talking about. Was it June or was it May? I mean, I want to be on the same page as you.
Me too. That was not to interrupt,
Yeah.
but that was my concern. I want to review that one because I feel like as a board, we weren't really strong. We got a vote, but we were kind of divided individually, my thoughts on it. So if we could
Which
Yes.
was the day? Because I'm not sure I was actually in attendance.
June 24th, you were not,
Yeah.
you were not
And
present.
it was,
No, that was when we changed it. Okay, all
and it
right.
was in the Huntley neighborhood, and it was on the back
Yeah.
right-hand side.
Oh, there it
Now,
is.
The difference, and again, taking things on a case-by-case basis, the difference is that was quite a large structure. That was a very large structure that came out, and in fact, they had I think it might have come out like 20 feet from the back of the house, including it was quite large in its width, in its depth. It had I want to say it had a chimney.
It had a kitchen, it had
Had
a chimney.
Sitting here.
Yeah,
It was a really pretty design.
It was beautiful, okay?
was.
But it was expansive.
It was,
Yeah,
yes.
it's not an accessory building, becomes an addition, right? And
Because we don't have any, because there's no provisions within the ordinance, right?
They were,
Attached, covered
that was,
patios are part of the building. They do become
Yeah.
subject to that, to those setbacks, right? That's why, and that was, and if I remember, they were asking for like at least a 50% variance, right?
Okay.
It was significantly larger than what's being requested
Yeah,
this
so
evening.
my view is they could have, like, we faced this with the other ones where they could have had a very large shed, so to speak, garage, that would have technically met the provisions of the ordinances, but aesthetically was horrible,
Right.
right? Because it was detached, fit. That's why I look at this on a case basis. In my opinion, this is a very elegant solution to a unique situation that no one has I've walked in neighborhoods, we were in the park today, I've seen these attached pergolas, I've seen sheds, there's just awkwardness in backyards.
Yes.
All over this town, and, and all of it's okay. So when someone comes up with an elegant solution, I'd like to acknowledge it and support it. That's my personal opinion.
well, the other one was quite elegant as well. It was just monstrous. I mean, it was beautiful.
But actually, that's the opposite
I
of
wanted it
elegant.
attached to my house.
I did too.
It had a full dining room table for 12
There's another
people
word,
out there to
other than,
encompass
you're
her
looking for
family,
something
I
other than
remember.
elegant. It was like, there's another word there that's
Like a restaurant type.
magnificent, majestic,
Mr. Chair? I'll just add that I would say that it is aesthetically pleasing, although that's not a criteria. I do believe that it fits within the character of the neighborhood and that none of the neighbors are negatively impacted by this proposal.
in fact, seemingly all in support.
It seems that they are all in support, yes.
Thank you. But my thoughts would mirror similar points that because it is open air, it's not an enclosed part of the dwelling. I generally am in favorable of this approach. I think there's a couple of factors that are unique to this case, given the other members have already made. Mr. Miller on the comment of, in the response to the petition about trying to traverse along the back of the house, that was one of my comments I actually had to ask the question of. I don't think it's feasibly possible to build any other direction but the direction that's being requested. And I do think the modesty of the request and the dimension is more in line with the spirit of when we consider variances. And I do appreciate the address of the 7 criteria that was written for the board, so. Also reiterating again that, as we've talked about, if this is, if motion is made to reject the request, the petitioner could build a very large monstrosity, 5 feet up to the rear corner. And I think that would be more of a uncharacteristic of the neighborhood and disservice to the applicants. All right. Anybody? I would love some
Mr.
action,
Chairman?
maybe a motion.
I motion to approve. I move to grant the variance request by Sean and Katie Morrison, property owners at 31288 Downing Place. Parenthetically, that's parcel number 2402378006. This is ZBA case 1439. This variance is from Chapter 46 zoning, Section 46-275, Schedule of Regulations to project into the rear yard by 12 feet, resulting in a rear yard setback of 28 feet. This determination is based on the finding that the petitioner has demonstrated a practical difficulty based on the following criteria. Applying the strict letter of the zoning restriction will actually unreasonably prevent the landowner from using their property for a permitted purpose and/or conformity with the zoning regulations is actually unnecessarily burdensome because it completely restricts their ability to use their yard in a usable fashion. Substantial justice would be achieved for the applicant and neighboring property owners by granting the variance, and approval of the variance would not negatively impact adjacent property owners or land within the district, because all neighbors have reported positively supporting, and the characteristic of the project is in line with the characteristic of the neighborhood. The requested variance is the least relief required. The situation is unique to the subject property and not related to the general conditions of the area. And lastly, the circumstances requiring the variance are not self-created.
Thank you. We have a motion?
Second. Go ahead.
No, second.
Motion is seconded. All right. Go for a vote, please.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Ms. Tomich?
Yes.
Mr. Barron?
Yes.
Ms. Stroker?
Yes.
Ms. Caputo?
Yes.
Mr. Rusaw?
Yes.
Mr. Beach?
Yes.
Ms. Rott?
Yes.
Ms. Makar? I'm sorry, Mr.
Yes.
Yes, perfect. All in favor?
Okay. Motion passes. Thank you.
Hey, congratulations. We expect a party. I'm sorry.
I thought you were going to ask to be invited to the wedding.
No, the wedding already happened.
Plenty of room on the baseball
wedding
field, right?
already happened. I'll celebrate with libations.
I think those baseball fields are nicer than anyone's house, by the way. I mean,
They are nice.
You're welcome to stay, or if you would like to, yep, as I time. Yep. Thank you. All right.
That is another example of asking for more than you want. I was very involved with the baseball fields. That's exactly what we want.
You just need you need a state championship now.
I will follow up with you guys tomorrow. Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Really appreciate your time.
All right, focusing on agenda, item 8, public comments. Is there anybody from the public that would like to comment on tonight's meeting? Okay. Having heard none, we'll move on to liaison comments. Mr. Drummond.
Good evening, everyone. As you probably heard, we did pass the animal ordinance at council meeting on last Tuesday. So that's I think the biggest thing for you guys that you probably care the most about. But other than that, not too much new at council unless you guys have any questions for me.
You have a project going, right?
At my personal residence, yes.
Yes, no, quite something.
For clarity on the ordinance that was passed, there was 2 ordinances drafted, correct? And
2 ordinances, well, kind of, yeah, more or less.
the one that passed states,
Mrs. Steck, you want to go through the whole list? I can do it, but she's the professional and she can definitely,
thank
she can handle it. You want to do that in liaison comments, maybe?
well,
Or, I'm
we
sorry,
can wait till you're done, we can go to administration then.
administration
I put
comments,
you on the
yeah.
spot.
I'll let Mrs. Steck take that thunder.
Fantastic.
Any other questions for me? Thank you.
Administration comments, Ms. Tech.
Wow,
On this-
with that amazing segue. Yes, so the ordinance that was passed will allow for the keeping of up to 4 chickens on residential property within the community. A maximum of 15 permits will be issued annually. Chicken coops and pens will be considered accessory buildings, right? And there is, they are subject to to setback standards, right? At least 10 feet from each property line, or from side and rear property lines, 30 feet from adjacent homeowners. We are working on the application and FAQs now. Council still has to set a permit fee. So nothing's been released yet, right? We're getting all of our ducks in a row. I haven't found the appropriate chicken analogy for that, the chicken pun for that. But I'll come up with something for us. But, so that's kind of where we stand right now. I know we have some eager people out there, right? We've already gotten some calls, some visits up to City Hall, ready for my permit. But
Which
we aren't.
extension of the village will review and approve the permit?
That'll be through the Planning and Zoning Department. So right here, me, all me.
Okay.
The Building Department will also be doing some inspections as well, right? So there is a 30-day, the ordinance does say within 30 days, you have to schedule an inspection of your coop, your pen, to ensure compliance. Anything found not in compliance, they have 14 days to rectify. Otherwise, the permit is revoked. So we've got some pretty tight timelines in there, but we'll see how it goes.
Lastly, will there be, or apologies for not reading it ahead of time, does the ordinance address how a coop is constructed, what materials it's made out of, what its properties are? I mean,
It is, and it is on the, I can send out a copy of the ordinance. I mean, the ordinance is in effect, right? It was effect upon publication this Saturday. So I'll send you guys the ordinance.
Will you be able to send us the fence one too?
Yep.
Thanks.
Fence, chickens. The ordinance says durable materials, it can't be scrap, it can't be, it can't, let's see. I knew I shouldn't have shoved this.
The height of the coop?
It doesn't have a reference design of some kind?
Now I have a reference design.
I know you love talking
On
about
Amazon.
this, so I just want to keep peppering you.
That is
with
the right. ChatGPT. Let me pull this up real quick.
I've seen some.
It's fine, Susie, you don't have to do it on the spot. If you can
That's
send it
all right.
out.
I don't
mean,
mind. I should have thought about that before I shut my laptop down and,
My reason for questioning is, as a board, we may see that petitioners may want something that's permissible, but perhaps it's not the right height, the right width, the right setback, and so just would encourage us to become familiar with a new ordinance that may or may not be a hot topic already in the.
Well, I think the other is
I'm
if they
sure
want a
it's a hot
shed and that they
topic.
already have a chicken coop, we need to be aware of that.
well, and
That'll be a
everyone
new
has,
thing for us.
now that it is not in the zoning ordinance, that's the fence one, it's part of what is considered the police power ordinance, right? So, everyone has to comply, right? So, if you have friends and neighbors that have chickens, they still need to get a permit, right? So otherwise they'll be in violation, you know?
Is there a minimum lot size requirement?
No, the minimum lot size requirement was removed as part of the discussion. So originally, what had been proposed was properties that were a half acre or more, and there was no limitation on the number of permits that were going to be issued. But as part of the discussion, that lot size restriction was removed, and the limited permit numbers adopted in place of that standard. All right, so the coop, let's see. One of these days I'll have it all in my head. All right, so in terms of construction, it says that coops and pens shall be constructed of high-quality durable materials such as treated wood, vinyl, or metal mesh, excluding corrugated metal, sheet metal, plastic tarps, or scrap lumber, and shall be properly maintained in accordance with the International Property Maintenance Code adopted in Chapter 9 of the Village Code as amended. The height restriction, I believe that is 8 feet for the coop. Coops can be on the ground or they can be elevated. If elevated, they are at least 12 inches from the ground. They can do, that is one way of meeting that, meeting the standard of preventing vermin and other nuisance animals from getting in. Otherwise, if it's on the ground, there has to be a rat wall or block foundation. Pens, so it's comprised of the coop and then the pen being the chicken run, right? And they have to be within the coop and pen at all times. There's no free range is basically what that boils down to. What else you got for me? At least on that one. All right. Awesome. I will send both the newly adopted fence ordinance and the animal ordinance to you guys. I started to write myself another note, but I only wrote one letter, and so we'll just forget that. The only other thing I have for you is there's no November meeting. So I do still want to do the advanced ZBA training, and we did the basic ZBA training last August. I want to get the advanced one ready for you guys. I think that would be good. I'm waiting, however, for the new Michigan Association of Planning schedule, right? They pretty much don't do trainings for the last half of the year. They're focused on the conference and just all the end of the year holiday nonsense. So we'll pick that back up in the new year. Stay tuned for December. That's a maybe. But that's all I have.
Thank you. Moving on the agenda to item 11, zoning board member comments. Do members of the board have any comments?
I have a comment. I think we just want to be a little bit careful about aesthetics arguments, because that's not really like what we're here for. Like I think to the point of this last case, the fact that they could build something without a variance that would be potentially not pretty, but also much more encroaching on their neighbors. And then the other reasons that were brought up, like I think we just have to keep in mind that we have had people come before us and really their only reason for wanting a variance is because whatever they're building is aesthetically pleasing to them. And so I think like we just want to keep that in mind. I was just like, made me a little bit uncomfortable that we're all like, you know, cheering this one, like congratulations to them, they got it. And it is aesthetically pleasing. So like, I think that's important, but that's like not the most important thing, so I just wanted to put that out there.
Thank you. Other members? Just myself, thank you, Ms. Rott, for chairing last month's, or the prior month's meeting. It went very well, I heard, so thank you for doing that.
You're welcome.
All right, if that's it, we will move to adjournment. If somebody be so kind as to make a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn?
Motion? Motion seconded?
Second the motion.
Motion's been seconded. All those in favor of the motion to adjourn, say yes.
Yes.
Opposed, say no. Yeses have it. We are adjourned.